Golden flames roared as Jean Lai's head soared through the air, his headless body collapsing, transforming into a golden vine, its luminous nectar splattering forth while the golden runes flickered and dimmed in an instant. Shi Hao dashed forward with lightning speed, his hand reaching for a particular branch on the vine. It was a black tendril, oozing darkness and carrying the primal laws within. Astonishingly, it didn't sever, leaving him taken aback. In that moment, everyone's expressions changed. Shi Hao was attempting to seize the innate patterns of the divine vine, equivalent to the supreme bones and heavy pupils of the human race's primal ancestors. These were gifts from the heavens, unique and unprecedented mystical arts, hence the title of primal ancestors. The eyes of those who had ignited divine flames blazed with fervor, discreetly drawing near, eager to take action. After all, this vine was invaluable, containing innate treasures. Sever for me, Shi Hao shouted, his hands radiating light as he exerted all his might to cut off the jet black divine vine. Perhaps he could obtain the runes on it, or at the very least, secure a primal treasure. However, just as he exerted his strength, the jet black vine, shimmering with specks of golden light, wriggled free from the runic aura emitted by a beast's fang, escaping his grasp. No wonder I couldn't find the life symbol. Shi Hao murmured. He had been trying to seize a life symbol but had always come up empty-handed. Little did he know, it was hidden within the innate runes. This was precisely to ensure that the possessor's innate runes couldn't be stolen. When Shi Hao plucked a true feather from the dragon sparrow, attempting to examine its original true bone, he met a similar failure. The same principle applied, golden patterns shimmered as a sunvine emerged in the distance. Its true form reforming and taking on the appearance of Jean Lai. He glared at Shi Hao with boundless resentment. I will kill you, is that so? Are you still daring to come in? I'm really looking forward to it. Shi Hao blinked his large eyes, licked his lips, a look of longing and anticipation on his face. Jean Lai's golden hair danced wildly, radiating with brilliant light. Embarrassment and fury contorted his face. A burst of rosy light flashed, and he vanished. Enveloped by the light rain, what a pity. Shi Hao shook his head. The connection between the beast's fang life symbol and the secret realm couldn't be severed. It held the mysterious laws of this small world within, and he couldn't prevent it. The atmosphere turned eerie as everyone looked at Shi Hao, sensing that this fellow's strength was far from ordinary. With Jean Lai's demise, he became the first of the primal ancestors to be slain. Even though others had clashed. It had never been this intense. People knew that the secret realm would be fraught with danger from now on. With the first primal ancestor slain, a precedent was set, much like opening Pandora's box. No one would hold back. At the exit of the secret realm, upon the altar, a cascade of light fell, revealing a figure. Many from the major sects were present, hoping that disciples from their sects would gain fortune within the secret realm. There were also countless cultivators who hadn't received a chance to enter, all paying close attention, crowding the heavens and earth, eager to learn what lay within. This person is Jean Lai, from the Sun Vine Pavilion. Someone recognized him, utterly shocked. Others were equally astounded. This was no ordinary cultivator. He was a true primal ancestor, possessing unparalleled innate treasures, and yet, he had been killed. One could only imagine how brutal the secret realm was. The battle of godly science and the young supreme's struggle for dominance had already begun. Many were filled with fiery excitement, wishing they could enter to witness the grand spectacle. Regrettably, outsiders couldn't enter, leaving everyone with a sense of longing. A primal ancestor has been killed. It's truly unimaginable. Outside the secret realm, discussions buzzed, their astonishment evident. This left Jean Lai's face pale. As a failure, the fact that everyone was talking about him and speculating about his killer weighed heavily on his heart. Young friend, who are you facing off against? An elderly sect master spoke, seated cross-legged in the void. His figure was blurry, and when his eyes opened, they were like twin bolts of lightning slashing through the darkness. Although Jean Lai was arrogant, he didn't dare to be disrespectful in front of such a figure and truthfully revealed his opponent. At that moment, even the purple mist, the ancient ancestor of the Huli tribe, Qin Chongxing of Bulo Mountain, and others displayed looks of surprise. Several sect masters were astonished. It was him again. The other cultivators were dumbfounded, finding it hard to believe. It's that young demon king again. He killed a primal ancestor. This guy first killed someone from the Fire Demon Palace, then battled the young king of the Huli tribe, and now he's begun to slay primal ancestors. Tears streamed down the faces of those from the Fire Demon Palace. Why did they always have to be mentioned? It was truly hurtful. The crowd erupted. Such a mysterious and powerful figure had appeared. He likely didn't possess a life symbol, otherwise, he would have been registered and his identity exposed, evidently. This was a young supreme who had infiltrated secretly, brimming with unwavering self-confidence. He didn't need a life symbol, only intensifying people's curiosity. I'm truly excited. I wonder what astonishing deeds he'll accomplish. Could he even slay the heaven's pride? He's the one who killed the servant of that young lord from the immortal palace. There's likely to be a world-shaking battle soon. I'm really looking forward to their encounter, outside the secret realm. Everyone's emotions surged, and they were invigorated, eager for the grand clash. Deep within the secret realm, vast lakes and misty waters spread out, shrouded in a gentle mist. Shi Hao's slaying of a primal ancestor had given everyone pause. While many were unafraid, they didn't want to recklessly engage in a battle for no reason. Within the secret realm, there were countless opportunities. Although a silver dragon lotus was precious, it wasn't worth a bloody conflict. Not far away, the battle between the witch and Yu Chan raged on. Their strengths were evenly matched, and neither could easily defeat the other. Otherwise, they wouldn't have been entangled since the lower realm. Shi Hao had initially thought that he might face a group attack. But now it seemed that these people were all quite proud and disdainful of such actions. Perhaps they hadn't yet witnessed the truly heaven-defying opportunities. Once they discovered the legacy of the Yuan Tian Supreme or his unparalleled precious blood, things might change drastically. The heavenly cicada garment is a supreme treasure. Are you all so wealthy that you don't care? Shi Hao grumbled, his knees emitted a radiant glow, revealing a transparent armor that hummed like the wings of cicadas, covering his entire left leg. It sparkled with runes, exuding an exceptionally exquisite and beautiful aura. This kind of treasure was likely worth many times more than the silver dragon lotus, on a completely different level. Fair Moon Fairy, since you gave me a piece of heavenly cicada armor, why not continue the good deed and give me another piece? Let me have symmetrical beauty, Shi Hao teased. The crowd was dumbfounded. This guy actually obtained a piece of heavenly cicada garment from Fair Moon Fairy? And on his leg? How did he manage that? There was no way it was a gift from Fair Moon Fairy. Oh my, Fair Moon sister is truly generous. She can even gift away these precious inner armors that meld with one's crystalline skin. How bold, the witch chuckled, her eyes twinkling mischievously as she struck with her words at the right moment. A glowing mark appeared on Fair Moon's forehead as her soul attack grew stronger. Faint phantom shadows surged, poised to slay the witch. Fair Moon, what's wrong with your leg? Although it's as white and lustrous as ivory, it seems to have a fingerprint, the witch giggled, intentionally provoking Fair Moon. Clearly, she was deliberately messing around, trying to irritate Fair Moon. The group watched in surprise as Fair Moon and the witch continued their intense battle. Your level of combat is futile when it comes to words at our tier. It's utterly meaningless. Fair Moon remained calm and unruffled, her snow-white skin glistening like jade, her ethereal aura undisturbed, thinking of taking another piece of heavenly cicada armor? That's quite a challenge, Shi Hao mused to himself, circling the two women. He looked as though he was about to make a move. The people were in shock. Did he really peel off his own heavenly cicada armor? Everyone displayed various shades of surprise. They glanced at Shi Hao and then at the graceful and crystalline ivory legs of Fair Moon, giving rise to endless associations, creating an atmosphere of enchanting beauty. The witch burst into laughter, unconcerned about her image as she doubled over in amusement. However, it wasn't unsightly at all, rather, it held a unique charm. Her hair fluttered elegantly, her figure graceful. Her peerless beauty exuding an otherworldly charm. Her eyes shone like gemstones, her skin snow-white, resembling a fairy, radiating a captivating aura. Fair Moon sister, what's wrong with your leg? Although it's as white and lustrous as ivory, it seems to have a fingerprint. The witch giggled, evidently, she was deliberately speaking nonsense, attempting to provoke Fair Moon. Everyone wore various expressions, and then they turned to Shi Hao. Hey. Where's that guy from the Divine Temple? Wasn't he quite close to the disciples of the Immortal Temple? Why hasn't he made a move? Wait, he's not here. A boom, just at that moment, a dazzling light burst from the sky, heralding a massive battle. A figure stood amidst it all, wielding a void battle halberd, stirring the winds of heaven. Runes surged as he dominated the skies, the infinite symbols rotating and threatening to shatter the firmament, his demeanor awe-inspiring. On the other side, a golden lamp radiated light, illuminating an equally sturdy youth. The two were on the brink of a major showdown. The area appeared misty and obscure, veiled in immortal mist. A symbol suddenly soared, and the two immediately launched their attacks, competing fiercely. This is the bone symbol that grants entry to the legacy ground. The crowd was astonished, rushing over to enter the legacy ground. One must possess a bone symbol. Although there were multiple pieces, obtaining one first meant entering earlier, gaining greater opportunities. As they rushed toward the area, Shi Hao was preparing to kill Fair Moon. Given their antagonistic relationship, he didn't want to miss this chance. However, just as he was about to strike, someone else targeted him, rushing over with lightning speed and striking with fierce divine fire. Praying mantis stalks the cicada. Unaware of the aureole behind, Fair Moon, who was battling the witch, swiftly shifted sideways, evading Shi Hao's terrifying attack. Meanwhile, Shi Hao also sensed danger, leaping to avoid the forceful blow from the expert with divine fire behind him. Qi Lingkong. Shi Hao finally recognized his attacker. Scoundrel, offer your life. Qi Lingkong, accompanied by another divine fire expert from his clan, both struck at once. You old man. I don't have time for you right now. I'm going to snatch the bone symbol. I'll come back to kill you later, Shi Hao said, his gaze flickering. He spotted Fair Moon and the witch splitting up, charging towards the front. He followed suit, the two powerhouses chased after him, but Shi Hao was incredibly fast. With Kuan Peng's technique combined with lightning, he blurred reality, disappearing from their view. Let's go. We need the bone symbol. If we can unlock the forbidden legacy. That's more important than anything. Qi Lingkong clenched his teeth. Upon entering the area, the mist grew denser as chaos erupted. Everyone fought for the bone symbol. Of boom, just as Shi Hao approached, someone attacked him with a palm strike, countless radiance beams shot forth, divine power surging. In this area, everyone was a competitor. He was astonished. Unexpectedly, it was Qin Hao, wearing his everlasting battle garb that emitted a resplendent light. Although struck by a palm, Shi Hao avoided it by quickly moving aside. While the palm missed him, it still passed by, not striking again. Has grandfather arrived? Shi Hao retreated to the side, searching the vicinity. He knew that if that person was his grandfather, he had likely entered the secret realm for Qin Hao's sake. What's that? His heart shook. He hadn't expected to find that unique youth here. He stood on a peak not far away, gazing at Shi Hao. His expression was complex. A mixture of doting, distance, memories, and regret. He seemed to want to speak, but refrained a roar. Suddenly, a piercing and ear-splitting roar resounded. A golden bear, towering at 10 jang, appeared on the peak, swiping its paw towards the youth. Its teeth were as white as snow, resembling sharp blades. This was a creature at the venerable realm, its aura vast and majestic. Golden runes surged like fire, pouring down like a torrent. Shi Hao was startled. Unable to control his emotions, he let out a long howl. The youth was in a restless state, and under these circumstances, he was likely to be ambushed. Phantom wings emerged from Shi Hao's back as he sped forward. He couldn't afford any mishaps. If his grandfather encountered danger, the consequences would be unimaginable. A divine light flickered, and the young man vanished, moving with astonishing speed to evade the massive golden bear's attack. Relieved, Hang Stone laid down his guard. This young man was highly alert and extraordinarily skilled, leaving behind afterimages as he moved. A true master. Boom. Hang Stone approached and casually waved his hand, releasing a surging force of energy that sent the powerful golden bear flying. Gazing at the young man, Hang Stone opened his mouth to speak, but found that the figure was rapidly retreating, maintaining a safe distance. The young man was clearly cautious. Harboring vigilance towards him in this realm, trust was scarce. Everyone had to be wary of one another, as treachery was always a possibility. May I ask who you are? Hang Stone's voice trembled as he spoke, his emotions uncontrollable. A lightning bolt suddenly struck, immense and awe-inspiring, targeting Hang Stone's crown. It was a breathtaking sight, resembling a cascade of heavenly rivers pouring down. Looking upward, Hang Stone identified the attacker as Lightning Child, who possessed incredible speed and had come to challenge him. Angered by the sudden interruption just as he was encountering someone who might be his grandfather, Hang Stone was naturally displeased. Simultaneously, he unleashed a powerful punch, thunderous and crackling with electricity. It carried the might of the Kunpang and the ancient true essence. Surging towards the heavens, his fist shattered the air, causing it to ripple like a tattered painting in a gusty wind. Lightning Child was taken aback. He couldn't comprehend why Hang Stone was angered by this one punch instead of competing for the bone token. He was puzzled by the young man's behavior. In the meantime, several first-generation beings rushed forward, descending upon them with swift attacks. This only fueled Hang Stone's frustration. He launched successive strikes, even creating a spatial tear with his celestial techniques, attempting to confine and pummel his opponents. The young man continued to retreat, wariness in his eyes, perceiving Hang Stone's formidable strength and exceptional prowess. As the bone token moved farther away, Hang Stone pursued, communicating through their spiritual connection. May I ask if you come from the mortal realm? The young man halted, showing surprise. His heightened vigilance made the question seem abrupt, engendering even more caution. I mean no harm. Hang Stone paused. His honesty evident in his clear eyes. He tried to calm himself, his voice steadier now. Who are you? The young man's calm demeanor and deep gaze suggested vast experience. I also hail from the mortal realm, Hang Stone whispered, taking a significant risk with this statement. If this person wasn't 15th Lord, it could lead to trouble, as he'd inadvertently revealed a vulnerability. The young man's gaze grew even more profound, his thoughts inscrutable. Hang Stone's anxiety intensified. Was the young man being cautious or harboring another motive? If he wasn't his grandfather, the situation could turn dire. I don't know who you are, but I sense no ill intent from you. The young man spoke, his intuition keen, guided by instinct. This similarity resonated with Hang Stone. Both possessed exceptional intuition, a remarkable connection. Hang Stone looked at him expectantly. The moment wrought with torment as he hoped not to miss this precious opportunity, afraid of mistaking the identity. I indeed come from the mortal realm. The young man's calm voice echoed, locking eyes with Hang Stone, studying his expression. At that instant, Hang Stone's heartstrings quivered violently. He almost cried out, suppressing his impulse and saying, could you be the Stone Clan's great demon god? The young man's pupils contracted. His gaze intense as he scrutinized Hang Stone without a word. You've entered this realm to catch a glimpse of Shi Hao, haven't you? You have a grandson named Shi Xiling, Hang Stone continued, looking at the distant figure. His excitement was palpable. It seems you've grasped my identity and know who I am. The young man spoke, a mix of bewilderment and suspicion in his eyes, as his guard grew stronger. For he couldn't fathom how this youth could possess such knowledge. Even if someone from the Qin clan arrived, they wouldn't recognize him. Had it not been for his keen intuition sensing the youth's lack of ill will, he would have struck already or fled to a safer distance. There would have been no response or acknowledgement. You have another grandson in the mortal realm, right? Hang Stone said, eyes reddening with joy and excitement. The young man's face fell silent. A hint of melancholy escaping his restraint. Yes, my grandson is in the mortal realm. Unable to ascend. Upon hearing this, the young man's gaze turned skyward, his emotions churning. He showed a hint of sorrow, struggling to steady himself. If he were alive, he would undoubtedly be no weaker than these first-generation beings of the upper realm. The young man's voice trembled as he expressed his thoughts, his expression revealing both sorrow and yearning clearly. He was the great demon god 15th Lord. Remembering the past, he was overwhelmed by an accumulation of emotions. His grandson, a prodigy from birth, was tragically stripped of his true bone, suffered countless hardships, and grew up in adversity. Ultimately, the boy had risen to prominence but succumbed to an early death. Thinking of this, 15th Lord's heart ached. My grandson. No one can claim he was weaker. He was a natural supreme being, but he cannot come to the upper realm. He can, and he's here. Unable to contain himself any longer, Hang Stone's eyes reddened further, and he rushed forward. What are you saying? 15th Lord's gaze intensified, fixed on Hang Stone. He hasn't died. Hang Stone smiled through his tears. If my O is alive, he'll shake heaven and earth, confront all first-generation beings. 15th Lord's voice quivered as he spoke. Locking onto Hang Stone, there will be such a day, Hang Stone said, tears streaming. Who are you? Who are you really? The great demon god inquired, his disbelief obvious. He'd received confirmation of his grandson's death and couldn't reconcile this sudden revelation. Grandfather, it's me, your. Oh, I'm still alive. Hang Stone rushed forward, casting aside his disguise, his true essence surging forth, in that instant. A profound shock surged through the great demon god. He sensed an affinity, as if their bloodlines could resonate, an intimacy between kindred spirits. Oh. Quivering with emotion, 15th Lord extended a trembling hand, gently touching Hang Stone's face. Whether this was a dream or a hunter from the heavenly domain in disguise, he wanted to embrace it fully. Oh. Wasn't he lost to the mortal realm? 15th Lord choked back his tears, his heart aching at the thought. He's not. Grandfather, it's really me. I'm still alive. Hang Stone, overcome with emotion, revealed his true form, allowing his grandfather to recognize him. What is this? 15th Lord's body shuddered. Having seen Hang Stone grow up, now an unfamiliar image stood before him. He staggered, struggling with disbelief. Is this a dream, who I am? I'm the great demon god's grandson, the one who survived losing his supreme bone. And the one whom a curse from a mere celestial hall couldn't claim. How could a rusty piece of bronze take my life? It's impossible. Hang Stone smiled through his tears. 15th Lord burst into laughter, tears rolling down his cheeks. It was a blend of sorrow, relief, and boundless joy. He couldn't discern if this was real or a fleeting dream. His heart surged with emotions, the surprise almost overwhelming. Who's the lunatic, crying and laughing over there? A cold voice sounded from afar, a disdainful glance cast in their direction. Hang Stone remained facing the opposite direction, not turning around. He quickly concealed his true appearance, employing the 72 transformations of the Zhu clan to alter his features. Then, he turned around and declared, step aside. Clearly, this was a first-generation being they hadn't encountered before. Though previously unknown, Hang Stone could sense the vigorous life essence within him. An extraordinary presence, tell me to step aside. The person's cold gaze turned towards them, clad in black armor radiating an icy aura that bore down oppressively. With a flick, his body emitted a dark radiance, causing the black armor to glisten as he took hold of a black divine sword, slashing forward with a chilling cry of begone. The strike unleashed a peerless sword energy, twisting the heavens and enveloping Hang Stone and 15th Lord. Describing it as sword energy wasn't enough, it resembled an entire sea of swords, a terrifying and awe-inspiring force. Grandfather, please wait. Hang Stone yelled. He charged straight into the sea of swords, activating his full power without reservation.